Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bantikow, where today you'll notice the harvester isn't currently running. That's fine. I actually need to run it manually for the time being. Field 21 is a bit tricky, as it turns out. Want to cover something very quickly before I actually start properly. Is the gate open? This gate opens. Wonderful. Want to cover something very quickly. Pascal van Ratingen pointed this out in episode 3, which went live yesterday on this series. He said it is a bit of a shame that you own all of the animals from the outset, and I'm going to agree. Or not all of the animals, all the fields. I'm going to agree and disagree at the same time. It's a shame because for a normal playstyle, well, my normal playstyle, what? Yeah. No. Does the game want to be stable now? Yes, it does. I'm going to agree and disagree at the same time. It is a shame that... Hello? Okay. The game's not very happy at the moment, apparently. It is a shame that you own all the fields for a normal playstyle. My normal playstyle is that I want to work my way up to getting more fields and more equipment. However, with this playstyle where I'm trying not to run out of money, and realistically I want to get all the fields done before they wither, because I do still have withering turned on, that's an added challenge. Because, let's face it, this is a big map, and there's a lot to do on the map. There's a lot that needs to be done. Can I actually start the harvester off here? Just want to check if that was the wrong button. Oh, look how many set up problems for this field. Away we go. So, should really have tabbed around everything before I started. It is a difficulty for my normal playstyle. Not for this one, because I want to get all of the crops off all of the fields. So it's a challenge. I'm actually down here for, with the pigs, is... gonna buy a few. I'm actually gonna... because I know I can get the money back in straw, I'm just gonna hold down this until it stops. 40, 50, 60, 70. I'm gonna try and get about 1,000. Like, genuinely gonna try and get about 1,000 pigs. Just because... well, they do take maintenance, but the maintenance is so little that it doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna hold down this button for as long as I can. I love the buy more animals mod. And we're up to 450. We're gonna get about 500, I think. Nope, more than that. We're gonna stop at 409. So we have 409 pigs now. Let's see how much of this straw they take. It looks like it's going to be the vast majority of it. If not all of it. Oh, I'm not looking forward to mucking out these pigs. The vast majority, okay. That's quite a lot of straw. Luckily these doors are automatic. Oh, please don't tell me this is another piggy place. This is... oh, a storage barn. I still, by the way, have no idea where the canola goes. The maize and canola, I have no idea where their sell points are. This looks like it could be a sell point of some description. I'm just gonna look for a trigger around here. These have collisions, which is nice. There is a... Oh, that's the door trigger. This is slurry refill trigger. This is potatoes beets trigger. That's a manure trigger. So it looks like that will be nice. I use this just to find out where tip points are and things. When I'm being lazy, like I am right now. It has collisions and it looks like an animated mesh as well. Why would that happen? Huh. Okay. Another door trigger. Where is the animal fill trigger? Door trigger. Ah, animal fill trigger. Oh my god, that's tiny. That's going to be fun to work with. So, this field is so big that I think we can go away with doing at least some foraging while the harvest is in motion. Now you'll notice that I've turned up the sound in game as well. I've upped it by 10%, so hopefully you'll be able to hear the vehicles a bit better now. Didn't get any complaints about it, but I figured I'd up it a bit as well. Last night I got the strangest comment. It was on episode 1 of Farming Sim 15 back on Westbridge Hills, and it said make more videos. And I was just thinking to myself, well, I have. You're watching literally the first video I did on this game the day that it came out. Which was mildly confusing for me. So I can get away with moving the forage wagon here. And I think that gate doesn't open until day 2, but I'm just going to get out and check. Oh no! Never mind. So we are of course still on day 1. I know it's this kind of series, the hardcore series, is probably going to be the one that gets the most drawn out on this channel, and that's actually kind of fine because it means I don't have to do tons and tons and tons of off-screen work, and that's kind of the point of it. Is this is going to be the map where when I'm a bit bored and I want to play some farm sim, this is going to be the map that I'll go to. So you'll know I've been really bored because suddenly there'll be 3 fields done or half a field done that, you know, wasn't done on screen. The game decided to stop it for a moment. Come on. Come on. I am going to have to look for extra mods in the near future. There are a few that I need to get. One of them, unless a test goes well, because I'm going to test with, probably with this map actually. And I've got some money together again. I'm going to test if any of the trailers I have. In fact, I know I'm going to make up a test map where I've filled up the cow manure pile to like 5 million or something. Because I need to test if I can put manure in any of my trailers. Because as far as I know, other than, you know, the manure spreaders, as far as I know I can't, and I may have to do some mod editing to get that to work. If that's the case, I will show you guys how to do it. And in fact, if I do, you guys will probably have a bit of an easier time than me, because I will show you exactly what you need to put in. I'll have to look for what you need to put in the first place, but if it is a relatively, from what I understand, a relatively simple edit to do to a trailer, to just give an additional fill type. I hope that I can rip a fill type from the manure spreaders. I hope I can rip the fill type from all of them. The same for the particle output. And I kind of hope, in a way, that I can rip the sound file as well. Because you can call on... you can call on the the giant default files and scripts from any mod. Obviously I'll have to double check, but I think you can do it. By the time this goes live, I already have done the test, and I know, and more than likely I'll actually have the video talking about how I've done it, because if I don't have any vehicles or trailers that can hold manure, I will edit one up. I can't edit, unfortunately, the IT runner stuff, because that's a DLC, and the DLC is encrypted and I can't get out. That's a bit of a shame. It's illegal to break the encryption, so I won't be able to access them. It really is a shame, because I would have loved, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This. I would love this to have manure as a fill type, and as far as I can see it doesn't. The skip, because that's, what, 20,000 litres? 18,000 litres, so I could put 18,000 litres of manure in there. Or even into the grain container I could throw loads of manure in there. But I'm just going to check. That's slurry tanks, manure spreaders. I don't see that on any trailers. On any tippers at all, that is... Huh. I wonder if the multi-fruit mod will do it. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice if it could. But yeah, that's a concern, really. Yeah. As you guys know, and this is, I'm changing the subject now because of reasons, and it's something that I wanted to talk about anyway. As you guys most likely know, I am a fan of Formula 1, and I do follow it quite a lot. And last night, for me, it's about a week ago for you guys, was that for a hit? Last night I was looking at Gary Hartstein's, Hartstein or Hartstein, I don't know how to pronounce his name, his blog. He was the Formula 1 medical delegate for a while, and he started up a blog talking about, you know, the medical aspects of Formula 1 and looking into cases such as Jules Bianchi, who crashed very, very heavily in the Japanese Grand Prix last year, and he has been well, Jules Bianchi has been in the thoughts of Formula 1 fans around the world ever since, because it was the worst crash that has happened in Formula 1 since 1994. And in 1994, of course, there was a fatal crash involving two separate fatal crashes involving Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger. So Formula 1 kind of lost a great and a potential great that day. Those, yeah, one day after the other. So that was tough for Formula 1 fans. I was young at the time, but I have watched the footage that's available on YouTube and seen both crashes, and they were amazingly horrible. But yes, Jules Bianchi, I'm mentioning this in particular because I think this is the reason that the entire situation has transpired here. He's also kind of, I should have done that into the subline, oh well. He's also been talking about Michael Schumacher and the skiing accident he had last year, and kind of putting his experience and knowledge into use to make an educated guess as to what's actually going on with them, because, well, Jules Bianchi, his family, are giving out a lot of information, and I think Jules fans from before the crash happened, and Jules fans that suddenly became fans after the crash happened, such as myself, are really glad they're doing that, and it's much appreciated, I must say. But Michael Schumacher's family are not releasing any information whatsoever, and all that's available to Formula 1 fans who love Michael Schumacher, I'm one of them, all that's available is speculation and guesswork. And if you put speculation in the media together, it ends up as, oh my god, he's dying all the time. Either that or he's perfect, but it's just the weirdest thing. But I'm talking about this for a reason, and the reason is the current FIA head of FIA medicine, a Frenchman by the name of Gerard Sayan, I believe. I believe it's pronounced like that. If you're French and you know it, clap your hands or something. If you're French and I'm wrong, do please correct me. In any case, he's the medical delegate for Formula 1. He's the medical delegate for Formula 1 and the FIA in general. And he went to. He was. I'm going to give all the backstory I can. Gary Harrison was F1 medical delegate after the late great Dr. Sid Watkins passed away, and he was medical delegate under the former FIA president Max Mosley. Max Mosley was essentially fired. He essentially fired because of a sex scandal that he had involving Nazi hookers. I'm not even kidding. In the subsequent election, former Ferrari team boss, I believe was his title there. Jean Todt, a Frenchman, got the position, and Gary Harrison was dumped by Sayan, who became the FIA head of medicine, by email. And that was revealed on Gary Harrison's blog, formerf1doc.wordpress.com. And yes, I am going to give him free advertising for that. But this happened. Well, the incident I'm going to talk about happened in late December, and I only found out about it last night somehow. And what happened was, Sayan came to the hospital in which Harstein works, which, you kind of expect him to go, okay, well, you kind of think, okay, well, he wants to talk to Dr. Harstein, because he was F1, Formula 1 doctor before, and Sam maybe wanted his experience in looking at new rules and new procedures. No, that was definitely not the case. Sayan came to the hospital with a dossier of Gary's blog posts and a falsified email, an allegedly falsified email from Corinne Schumacher, Michael Schumacher's wife, to Gary Harstein. And the reason Sayan showed up at the hospital was to try and get Harstein fired for his personal opinions. And there are a number of things wrong with it, obviously. Number one, this guy is supposed to be professional, Sayan, and he seems to have a bone to pick with Harstein. I don't know why, and neither apparently does Harstein, but he came to hospital on FIA time, essentially, because I would bet, and I am opening myself up to trouble, but this is my personal opinion, so it is covered by most libel and slander laws. It's I'm opening myself up to trouble. I would bet that, and I think that there is something going on within the FIA. Either Hartstein, because he criticised FIA procedure, and I think this is the reason. Hartstein criticised FIA procedures over the Bianchi crash, and he criticised the procedures correctly because the extraction process took about double the time it should have after the crash, and the helicopter, I believe, was not available. The Medivac helicopter was not available at the time, and if that was the case, number one, if the Medivac wasn't available at all, the race shouldn't have gone ahead. That's actually a requirement for a Formula 1 race, is an emergency helicopter being available. But more worryingly, the extraction process for an injured driver took double the time, and this was a driver who clearly had a head injury. I mean, his head hit something resembling the Leapar wheel loader. It hit that, and the FIA just didn't mind the extraction procedure taking twice the time it should have. I know I'm going over time, but this is pretty much it. The FIA didn't mind. That's, I would argue, criminal. I would argue there's potential criminal negligence there. And then sending an FIA delegate to a public hospital to try and get, I believe the hospital's public anyway, sending an FIA delegate to a hospital to try and get somebody fired. That is, number one, it's against the FIA's own regulations, because they do have regulations for this, and there's a regulation stating that basically if you act in an official manner, which I believe Sion was, if you act in an official manner to attempt to bring the sport into dispute, which I believe Sion was, you are open to problems with the FIA, which I believe Sion is. The bigger question is whether this was sanctioned by Jean Todt. The real big question is, was this sanctioned by Jean Todt? In which case, the FIA president, the president of the FIA, of World Motorsports, is after taking part in potentially criminal actions, which would mean he can't be president of the FIA, and as he's trying to get a French political career going, he can't have a political career in France just swapping that to up and down the field. I think, number one, the mainstream media should really have found this out. I should have reported on it. I follow BBC News, I follow the BBC News F1 News. BBC F1 News, don't follow F1 on BBC, I use Sky F1 because I for the coverage there. It's personal opinion there and personal preference. Didn't get Sky F1 specifically for it though. Just thrown into our Sky subscription for free. And I've given Sky free advertising now. I feel kind of dirty. But I'm going to be very, very blunt here. I think F1 is in a bit of a death spiral. I really do. Costs have... Well, they have been higher in the past, I will admit. The cost of racing F1 is probably lower now than it was in the mid-80s. The problem is the profitability is near zero. Unless you're Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, or probably Red Bull. They're the only four teams that are actually safe in Formula 1. Ferrari just because they were involved in the first Formula 1 season in 1950. They're the only Formula 1 team to have taken part in all 54 seasons of F1 to date. 64 seasons. But I'm gonna finish up very soon, don't worry. But yeah, in the past 6 months, Formula 1 has lost one team and came unbelievably close to losing a second. Caterham F1 managed to make it to a race last season, the final race of the season, by sheer crowdfunding efforts. They had run out of money, they were broke, they were in administration, they were essentially dead in the wall. But crowdfunding brought them to the last race of the season. They actually got to the last race, which I was amazed by. Marussia, now known as Manor Motorsports, or Marussia Manor, depending on who you look at, who you read. I believe it's actually Manor Motorsports. They were, after the Jules Bianchi crash, they got to one more race weekend and then they just kind of disappeared off the radar. Turns out they went broke as well. They went into administration. Luckily they came out of it about a month ago. Late December it started coming to light that, hey, Marussia might make it to the first Grand Prix of the year, Australia, which is on today, I want to say, on the 15th of March. Marussia might make it to it as time's gone on. The news has been all positive from Marussia Manor, because that's what the entry says. They cannot use the name Marussia because it's Manor Motorsports as per their original contract with FOM, Formula 1 Management, and the FIA. It's Manor Motorsports that will be taking place in the 2015 Formula 1 season. But it turns out they actually did get funding, and through some controversy, they managed to get exclusion from certain rules, including new technical regulations in certain areas, and they're allowed to race in a modified 2014 chassis. I believe their intention is to upgrade it to 2015 spec and swap into 2015 engines after a period. Probably the start of the European season will be the most likely time, because it takes about 4 or 5 months to design, manufacture and make the majority of the Formula 1 chassis. So I would expect a kind of a Manor Motorsports V2 coming out maybe May-ish time. But I'm absolutely delighted they're in Formula 1. I mean, 18, that makes it 20 cars on the Formula 1 grid this season. And it was going to be 18. Now, what's in this shed? Hey, I found the corn and canola. Which have... Do they seriously have 2 tip points? Each? No, they do not, because of the door. So the corn and canola tip points are here. Okay. In any case, I think I'm going to end it here. And I'll do another episode immediately afterwards. But this has been half an hour of me nattering on about farming and Formula 1. And controversy, of course. Because I love my controversies. I'm probably going to get into a bit of trouble. Potentially. Although they are my personal opinions, so under most laws, I believe it to be the truth. It's just speculation, it's personal opinion. I'm not stating anything as fact, so under 90% of libels, under laws, I am exempt. As personal opinions. In any case, I've been Rainbow Dave. I've been causing trouble. This has been Hardcore Farming Simulator 15 on Bantikow. Please comment, like, and subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and hopefully you're enjoying the video, so you want to do it anyway. I know if I find somebody I like on YouTube, I will subscribe to them almost immediately. Thank you very much for watching. In the next episode, we'll probably continue the harvest and try and get some, throw some grain at the pigs. You know that I'm going to forget where corn canola go eventually, because it is made out of the way. I will see you next time. Until then, I'm going to learn English eventually. Until then, stay safe, and goodbye.